Good morning. It is Thursday, April 26th, my 23rd day on the trail. The sun is up, so that's good news because my shoes are still wet. I taped the top middle toes on both feet because they're getting rubbed raw from all this rain and coming down the hills. They're rubbing on the top of my shoes. So after 3 weeks, I didn't have any blisters till this happened. But they feel pretty good right now. I wrung out my socks. I didn't wear my silk liner socks with them, so maybe it'll give me more room. I just have the darn tough socks on. I'll probably go about 14.7 miles today, and that'll leave me 5 kilometers, 3.1 miles till I get to my hostel tomorrow in Hot Springs, North Carolina. Looking forward to that. Last night I came down to a shelter, and there's some guys had a fire going there. They didn't seem to want to bother with me. But off to the side, I found a nice flat spot. So I said, this will be great. I'll sleep good tonight. However, I couldn't believe these guys are through hikers, because normally proper etiquette, and through hikers know this, one of the basic rules that hiker midnight is when the sun goes down. Well, these guys were yakking and laughing and making noise till midnight. I thought they were just goofy section hikers or something, but anyhow, there was one guy, he talked constantly. Can you talk for 3 hours and not say anything worthwhile? This guy could. And of course, there's always one or two bimbos with them. What's a bimbo? That's a girl who laughs at anything you say. So that's how it went till midnight. And finally they passed out. I think the dope finally wore off and they fell asleep. They talked about getting some good stuff at Damascus, but hopefully I won't be around them anymore. But today the sun is up, my feet feel fine, and I'm moving on. Had breakfast, and life is good. Box turtle out. Here's where the rhododendrons are at this point. The buds are getting a little bigger, but I'm just hoping I get to see them bloom before I walk away from them. Some of the trails still a little muddy. Hoping this clear weather will dry everything up, including my shoes. I just walked for maybe almost a mile by a raging stream. It really had a lot of fall to it, so there were rushing water and white water and a lot of waterfalls, loud, pretty neat. The fauna around here at this point is mainly trilliums and purple violets. I've seen yellow violets and white violets also, and there's various kinds of trilliums around here, different sizes. I've stayed at 2 shelters in the Smokies, and I try to avoid them because I like sleeping in my tent. Usually I sleep better. One thing about the shelters is sometimes there are mice in them. And the 2 I slept in, I didn't see any, but I stopped at one to have lunch at one day, and I saw one scamper away. And I think the mouse population depends on the amount of food they have around there. If there's a lot of oak trees or with acorns or nut trees, they might proliferate there. But I had a discussion the other day with some people around a campfire about, I saw in some videos where people, to take care of the mouse problems, when they went to bed, they would toss out like a granola bar in front of the shelter. and that would, they said it was a peace offering, and that would appease the mice all night long. They'd eat that thing instead of coming inside the shelter looking for food in everyone's pack or whatever. But I'm against that. I think that's just going to cause problems for the guys. A few weeks later, there'll be more mice there. I think that's kind of selfish. But my question is, how much does a granola bar weigh? I think it weighs about as much as a mouse trap. So one could carry a mouse trap, put a half a peanut in there, and end the problem that way. Or they could even supply mouse traps at the shelter. Who knows? That's just my opinion. Box turtle out. Guess what? Yes, it's starting to rain again. After a while it picked up pretty good, so I stopped and put my raincoat on. That's where I came from. Going that way, in about 1/10 of a mile, I'm come to Phil's Gap. 3/10 of a mile after that, I'll hit Bluff Mountain, and then I've got a real long descent, and then some roly-poly after that, so about 7.8 more miles, and I should be at my campsite tonight. Sure would be nice if it stopped raining. Whatever. Okay, I have about 2.5 more miles to go before I get to where I'm going to camp tonight. It's still raining. The parts of the trail were muddy, but that comes with the weather, and there's nothing the maintainers can do about that. Sometimes they alter it, or they drain it, or they make these bridges, and that's helpful, but there's only so much you can do. And without those guys, this trail would come into disrepair, and it would be very difficult to walk on. So with that in mind, I'd like to talk about hiker trash. Am I speaking of the litter? Yes, that's part of it. For the most part, if you find a water bottle along here, somebody probably dropped it by accident, because we need those bottles for our water. But anything else, like candy wrappers, food containers, cigarette butts, and Kleenexes. Women use these Kleenexes when they go number one. Guys just go and then leave the area. Girls go, not all of them, just a few. But you see Kleenexes every once in a while. So they go and they leave these Kleenexes. And today, by one of these Kleenexes, someone left a purple tampon applicator. So who's gonna have to clean that up? The trail people, or some animal gonna come and chew on it? Sure, the Kleenex will eventually decompose. That's not the point. And also in that hiker trash category, I'd like to talk about, again, people who don't respect hiker midnight. Maybe it's the rain today, maybe it's because I'm tired because I didn't get to sleep till after midnight, even though I went to bed about 8. But between those people who litter and don't follow rules for being considerate of other people, those people fall under the category of hiker trash. But I'm going to tell you, for the most part, 99% of the people out here are friendly, helpful, and real good. It's just those few that are nasty. So, on another note, when I'm walking in this rain, yesterday and today, I noticed, I don't know what these rocks were, or minerals, but they glistened in the rain. Some of them were look like copper, some look like brass, gold, maybe even silver, but they were shiny, and you wonder, there's so many minerals here, what that's all about. So a geologist would know, but it's been interesting, fascinating stuff if you take the time to look around. Here we are again. I'm at Deer Park Mountain Shelter in my tent again. Walked 14.7 miles from Roaring Fork Shelter. It was nice till about noon, then the rain started, so I was walking in mud and water again, and I was kind of shivering when I got here, but I got the tent up, made supper, hung the bear bag, called my wife, and tomorrow morning, after I pack up, have a little breakfast, I'm going to walk into Hot Springs, North Carolina, and spend the night at Elmer's Sunnybank Inn. Looking forward to it. See you tomorrow. Box Turtle out. Day 23, April 26th, Thursday. Bye. Good night.